I want to welcome y'all to another episode of For the Culture. And we got the world famous crew, and we got one of the original members of the Low Lives. We got Rudy Low in the building. And Rudy Low, tell the people about yourself.
I'm Rudy Low, the creator of the logo, original Low Life member from Brooklyn, New York, Brownsville, Crown Heights, Crownsville, always keeping it real from rural land.
All right, so my first question to you, Rudy, is where were the Low Lives from? Like, what part of Brooklyn did the Low Lives originate from? What year, which era did you guys form?
The Low Lives, technically, is from Crownsville because it's two units or two crews made into one. I will say Crownsville, Crown Heights and Brownsville. Specifically, St. John's and Utica or St. John's Posse and Marcus Garvey, MGV, Marcus Garvey Village located in Brownsville. The two teams came together, we're going to say 88. But our culture was before that, but we're going to go with 88 in a modern sense. Once Rack migrated and moved to Marcus Garvey Village.
My next question is, why did you guys name yourself the Low Lives, and what's the meaning behind the name?
Low is short for Polo. Polo was a clothing of the choice of that era for us. We always used the term low before the Low Lives was formed. We was on 42nd Street one day on a Broadway. Thurston Howard III was a ladies' man. He was talking to a female. She came back around the corner, caught him talking to her next broad. So she was like, oh, he a low life. Oh, you a low life. But she was saying it in a negative sense. We heard it. It sounded good to our ears. We was hype off of it. I remember vividly, B-Bill, Cat Mike, God bless the dead. R.I.P. to B-Bill. Shice Low, Philly. He got hype. Mike always hype. I can envision him doing it. Like, I can see it. I can close my eyes and see Mike stomping his feet on the clown, mad hype. Yo, B-Bob, you know how he be hype. Yo, word to my mother, that shit sound hype. That's your word. And we just jacked it since then. You know what I mean? And no, for the record, emphasis added, I'm the Rudy Low that was present. And the name stuck. Like I said, that's where the name came from. God bless the dead, Boostin' Billy, Cat Mike came up with them L's.
Now, this is a big question right here, Rudy. Who would you say were the founding members of the Low Lives?
Damn, man. This question gonna cause mad confusion. But hey, it is what it is. Big facts. Let the public dig that. I gotta go with, it's a famous picture I got on my page. Is one day we was going to Sensations. And I will say them people right there is the founding members. Off the top, no offense, let me give my apology beforehand if I don't recall someone. But Boostin' Billy, R.I.P. to the greatest. Cat Mike, myself, the OG Frankie Boo, Kurt the Butte, God bless the dead, of course Rack, Ski, Beck, Disco, Dre from the 90s, God bless the dead, OG Kerm Low from the 90s, of course Boostin' Bob Low, best friend, AV Rock, Carvel, Zinkster, Polo, can't leave out Joey, nor Dennis, Fox, Jason, that's right. God bless the dead. The OG Punkin, of course. Flyest one from MGV. And of course, one of the most popular ones, Thurston Howard III, Vic Low. And of course, Frizz.
Now, Rudy, who were the Ralphie Kids and where were they from? Who was the USA Association, the United Shoplifters Association, and where was they from? And I also heard that the Low Lives were a combination of these two crews. Is there any truth to that?
It is two crews made up, SJP, MGV, which was me as a child, Ralphie Kids. Ralphie Kids birthed everything. That was right behind the two front posse, or St. John's Polo posse. It's an old footage with the OG Ski Black in Lincoln Terrace. And he explains that he came around St. John's as a child, as a teenager, and he had a privilege of meeting G. George, the OG, B-Bill, and seeing how real people on SJP kept it. So when he got back around his way, which was MGV, love and loyalty all the time, he kept it official when he came out with Polo USA, United Shoplifting Association. Now, I'm gonna drop another lesson on y'all, like I dropped on the OG Disco. Frizz, the OG Frizz, same person that taught me, Rack Low, AV, etc., taught Charles, Ski. Shout it out, Ski Black. he taught him the skills that he possessed. They was in the same class together. So yes, but in totality, I like to classify it as a caterpillar effect. A caterpillar goes through metaphors, goes through changes, everything goes through evolution. I understand the dynamics that Two Front Posse, St. John's Polo Posse, Ralphie Kids, Polo USA, United Shoplifting Association, and Low Life is all one of the same because it all go through phases. The past make the present, and the present make the future. It's 360, 120, 120, 120. You can't leave nothing out.
Now, Rudy, the Low Lives was synonymous with Ralph Lauren Polo brand. What made you guys pick Ralph Lauren over all the other brands that was popping at that time? What made you guys go with Polo?
At the time, it was the new vibrant. Colors was lit. In addition to, it was hard to get. It wasn't average. That's why we became savages. Because it goes like this. I don't want to steal nothing that's local. I don't want nothing that everybody else has. At the time, Ralph Lauren, when he came out, like he just took over. He was a true trendsetter. Because mind you had to go to Barney's to get it. You had to go to Lord & Taylor's, B. Alkman's. People still don't go to them stores now. And we was in them stores since ages of 11.
I'm a Queens cat, man, you know what I'm saying? I remember going to Lord & Taylor's out there in Garden City, Long Island. They had a Lord & Taylor store out there. You know what I'm saying? B. Altman's in the city. We also had Bergdorf Goodman. I think that was the name of that store. I remember a time I went to, we used to want to get fresh in the hood. You always wanted to rock shit that other people didn't have. So me and my homies, we used to go to 42nd Street. We used to go down to the Port Authority, get on the bus up to Woodbury, take the bus to Woodbury Commons and go get fresh. They had the Guest store, they had the Polo Mansion and all that up in Woodbury Commons. So long story short, one time we go to Woodbury Commons to the Polo joint and it's pandemonium. The store's locked, it's crazy. The whole shit look ramshacked. So me and my niggas, we don't know what the fuck going on. We see like 20 niggas run out the store. We not knowing at the time that it probably was some Brooklyn low-life niggas that went there on the spree. But yeah, explain to the people those stores, those OG stores that you named like Lord & Taylor, B. Altman's and all that type of stuff, man.
When I first came in the game was Gimbals on 86th Street. Gimbals is extremely famous. Actually, I have a landmark case that deals with shoplifting. Gimbals is in there, 86th Street. Gimbals, exclusive spot. Like you stated, Bergdorf Goodman, exclusive. Of course, the Polo Mansion, Philadelphia. Can't leave this out. This is one of our first spots. Dimensions, Polo Outlet, Polo Mansion. Can't leave out A&S, nothing less. That was one of our slogans, never nothing less than A&S. When we was children, we used to get the newspapers, see the bottom of the newspaper and the advertisement for the stores, see what malls got what. We'd go right to the Port Authority like you just stated, but we go to the Port Authority, we get on the bus going to wherever, Tyson's Corner, and we get over, we're gonna get a cab, and the cab gonna take us to the mall. We're gonna go to the mall, do what we do, and come back and do the same thing on the way home.
Now, Rudy, as the brand Ralph Lauren became more popular in the quote-unquote urban world, was it dangerous to wear it? And could you get hurt for being a wrong type of individual that happened to wear those type of clothes?
As Polo got more valuable, we gonna keep it 100. I don't know no other way but to keep it. You know, it's not too many shoplifters that's hard. On a scale of 1 to 10, out of 10, 3 was hooligans. 3 was like me, Frankie Boo, and let's say a Kurt the Butte. So I said that to say this. Most of my peers was soft, and they got pressed for many years. Some used to run and hide around buildings, some hide under cars. Where we was at, it was hooligans, like I said, thugs. And they wasn't getting no type of love. All the chicks like us, we fly, money hoes and designer clothes, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it got dangerous, always was, but as time went on, it got more dangerous. Not like now where you could dress and wear anything you want, everybody run around and be happy.
And another question, Rudy, was y'all mayhem at that time? Was it confined to just New York City? Did you guys ever venture out to like Franklin Mills, you know what I mean, Reading, Woodbury Commons? I'll even go as far as Lancaster. Lancaster had an outlet out there too with the feline store and all that. Did you guys ever take y'all show on the road and you know what I mean, so to speak?
This is a renowned fact. As a young child, we was on the road. because we was in them stores every day, all day, so we was hot. The older OGs, they schooled us good. One of the first places we started going was upstate. We did all that. Philly was our second home. I used to reside in Philly before I got incarcerated, my first bid. North Philly, actually. The Galleria, John Wanamaker's, Franklin Mills, King of Prussia. Of course, we hit all that. Cherry Hills, Jersey, Tyson's Corner, Virginia. So, of course, yes, Lowlight's been over state lines. Before the modern sense, before entertainment.
At the height of y'all run, how many members would you say you had? And how many members would you say there are now?
I can't say at my height, when I was incarcerated in DFY, I composed the list of lowlifes. It was roughly about, I'm gonna say almost 200, a guesstimation or a round off, about. That included females, that included Brooklyn, the Bronx, Philly, and a little scatters here and there. Right now, and according to social media, or at least according to Instagram, hashtags about 200,000. Look how much it multiplied in all these years.
Now, Rudy, people don't know, man, you got a very interesting backstory, man, about how you even have your freedom right now to even be able to give me this interview that we giving right now. If you don't mind, man, can you give the people a little history lesson on you and the things that you've been through in the past years? But what I'm saying is, people know, damn, who is this guy? Like, who is he? He naming some names. He walked the yard. I thought the Lowlives was like some Polo, was a clothes crew or some shoplifters and all that. Man, let the people know, man, what you've been through, man, and your story, man.
All right, like I stated earlier, I started the criminal activity at an early age. I did my first bid from 89 to 95. My second bid with the guard, KB, God bless the dead, the Conrad. I caught a gun case at Source Awards, 2 days after the Source Awards, actually. And that's right after I did my video, Remember Me. I went back in. I went in 98 and came out, continued to do my music and everything, dealing with the streets and dealing with foul, grimy individuals. I got accused of a crime. I blew trial. I was a 3-time loser. I received a life sentence, 20 to life actually. I had no more finances. Nobody remembered me. Everybody left me for dead. And I advocated for myself to gain my freedom to be able to sit here now and converse with you now. I used them little keys on the law books, on the West Law, to open up the doors. And not just to speak in metaphors. One of my so-called associates, because he definitely wasn't a friend, took the stand, sat down, testified against me, lied. He was part of an extremely popular rap group from Brooklyn. I got locked up in August 1999. I would have went to the parole board this year if they would have let me go. Off that sentence, I did 9 years, 4 months. I set a precedent. I got a reversal for a lesser included offense thereof. The Appellate Division said they was wrong. I should have been incarcerated.
Now, you just mentioned KB, which is Killer Ben from Fort Greene. Rest in peace to Killer Ben. Now, can you elaborate on your relationship with Killer Ben?
Yeah, I walked the halls with the guard, Killer Ben. He was inconverted or antisocial, whatever you want to call it. He conversed with people that he knew from the town. When I got out, we continued to communicate and continue to bond. Even actually when I caught my second bid, August 17th, 2 days after the Source Awards, I saw KB. So he intertwined in my life lengthily and in depth.
Now, you did mention Rumble and rest in peace Megatron from the Deceps, which is an infamous crew out of New York City, for those that don't know. Did you have a personal relationship with those members?
Yes, I have a relationship with them. I'm not one of the ones that name drop or swagger jack. I intertwine with them. Like I said, my homie Blitz, Dirge. A lot of people think it ain't no original D-Steps. That was the original Lowlife. My man Tone from my building, older than me, he was one. Original D-Step, original Lowlife. Little Rumble, of course I got a relationship with him, not more so than his brothers. But Big Rumble, yeah, that's the Conrad. I always see Big Rumble. Father's Day, anytime anybody from my neighborhood pass away, any good times or bad times, me and Rumble was there. My cousin, God bless the dead, live long, Sean P. Live on. Sean Price, Ruck. My first cousin on my father's side. First cousin, D-Sep. Me, I intertwine. If you listen to my old song, Remember Me, listen to some stuff, I always talk about Decepticons because that's the part of my life. Maybe not all the low lives, but definitely the super trife, and I'm one of the super trifes.
We all know that you said that you designed the Low Life logo. But who owns the actual copyright to that logo? And what's the story behind that?
I, Rudolph Bethea, Bethea, own the logo. Now, when I first was released from prison, I personally Googled it, came across a fraudulent company from New Jersey that allegedly had the rights to the logo. A little while later, maybe a year later, come to find out, Willie Esco, who works for FUBU, wound up obtaining the rights. He started the Low Life brand, the modern sense. I had the honor of conversing with Willie Esco. Me and him have a great rapport now.
That documentary that came out on Complex called Horsepower, was any of the original Low Lives involved in that?
Horsepower by Complex. That thing had me more than furious. When I say furious, I mean beyond furious. I just had the honor of conversing with the fashion guru, the fashion designer. He dressed the rappers, man, but y'all know him as Dapper Dan, right? And I had to pull his coat to all our plights and our retro fights. When I was a child, hip-hop emulated the streets. They hung around the street individuals. That's who they wanted to be like. So I said that to say this. Dapper Dan was an entrepreneur, tailor from his geographical area, which was Harlem. Therefore, the peers from his neighborhood supposed to support him like they did, like they should have. Now, since Alpo and all of them were so popular, everybody emulated them. So, therefore, the streets took hip-hop and fashion to that next level. The original Complex Horsepower documentary, only original Low Life that I know of that was a part of it was Thurston Howell III, Vic Low, and Rack Low. One last thing I like to add about the Horsepower documentary, a lot of fabrication in there. And actually I conversed with Rack afterwards. We got into a little, not even a little, we got into a debate because a lot of people see hip-hop taking fashion to the next step, the next levels. And that's what Horsepower trying to depict it and force feed to the general public. And that's what some of my peers try to advocate as well, that was the case, and that is not the case. The streets influence hip-hop, music, fashion. Everything comes from the bottom, rises to the top. That's what the cream does. None of this stuff is unheard of.
Now, Rudy, do you feel the Low Lives put Ralph Lauren on the map as far as in the streets and in hip-hop? And if so, do you feel that you guys get enough credit for really bringing Polo to the street level?
Ralph Lauren, though, and I know statistically, economically, from 87 to 92, his sales went up in the urban department, the black market, and that was due to us. You asked me, do I think Ralph Lauren gave the Low Lives enough credit? Hell to the no. You see the dilemma and the things that Dapper Dan went through. At least that corporation hired him and at least gave him acknowledgement nowadays that they respect his innovation and his designing skills. It was a book written or published by Tom Gold. I hashtags the book every photograph, every post. It's called Bury Me With My Low On by Thurston Howell III. Now, the publisher for that book worked with Vic with his pictures, took them pictures to Willie Esco. They came up with the promotions and the strategy and all that for the Low Life brand. Then he ran to Ralph Lauren and snitched to the man. Told him, hey, they about to bring your retro out over there. So Ralph Lauren beat him to the punch. So he stabilized and crippled the Low Life brand. And besides, guess who he worked for now? Ralph Lauren. Vic don't, Rack don't. Oh, I forgot it was cute. They let Vic sell his book on their website for 7 days and 7 nights. So people, open your eyes, your ears, pay attention. And I always urge you, go back a few years.
Rudy, I got a question, man. Why do you think that a motherfucker like yourself or Thurston Howell, Rack Low, why do you think that those guys, your peers, why don't they work in the urban department of Polo or something like that? I'm missing something, man. Maybe you can explain it to me, man, because you guys have so much influence on the fashion in the urban community. You got rappers like T.I., you got rappers like Young Dro that rock wear Polo Why don't they have you guys working in some type of urban department? Because you guys influence the culture so much. It's only fitting that you get a position. I don't understand it, man. Is it something that I'm missing, or were there ever a time that you guys were offered some type of position within Polo Design?
Simple and plain. Nobody got a position because on a large scale, we're not showing unity on a large scale. Shout out again, Rack Low. Rack have a hell of a brand, a hell of a market, I must admit, and I fucks with him. RL Jury, my logo fall into that category, and he displayed it proudly, he displayed it greatly. Also, he was doing logos, different logos, the pins, the cookie, the P-wings, the flags, the anniversaries. Ralph Lauren, he emulates us without giving us money, copy us without giving us money. He did the same thing with the retro line. They do the same thing with everything, but they say what goes around comes around. Who you see going up, same people you see going down. So you know how that sounds, so hey, the niggas is clowns, man. They shortchange themselves, and I ain't shortchanging myself. Once we get it together as a whole, Ralph Lauren come to the table because they have no choice. Numbers don't lie, numbers matter. It's all about revenue.
Now, Rudy, do you have anything to do with the Low Goose on the Deuce events? Is that something that you're a part of, or that's just something that you participate in being a member?
Low Goose on the Deuce? No, I was incarcerated when that started. I was also incarcerated when the barbecue started. Both events is Rack events. Rack and his wife, hey Sheena, they birthed them events. And I must say, it done grew to be well worth his network. RL Jury, shout it out. Low Goose on the Deuce. But I support him. For one, because it's my life, it's my movement. Gotta be supportive. And for two, it's one of the largest platforms.
Rudy, man, look, I appreciate your time, man. I thank you for the history lesson, man. I learned a lot. Hopefully there's a lot of information in this interview that the people can absorb as well. I want to end it off, man. You just giving some shout outs to your peoples, man. Just giving that low life roll call, man. And let the people know, you know, your social media handles, where they could go look for you at, man, and things of that nature.
Can't do an interview, and I definitely can't speak about my past without mentioning a few people. When I had the life sentence, that was my hardest obstacle, hurdle thing that I ever had to accomplish, which was to gain my freedom. And during that time, the people from the streets, they wasn't complete. When the heat came down, all them folks beat their feet, and that's real talk. So with that being said, the people that I met inside, the new comrades, especially on my last bid when I had the life sentence, you know, people like Chill Ali, shout it out, comrade. My son, Hocus 4/5, you already, you got the gift, boy. Me and you, we already know, we gonna stay swift, Roro. Shout out to Conrad Mano, hustle hard, he was in Clinton with me. Of course, we was adolescents together as well. George Fawella, God bless the dead. I can't leave you out, Tiger. Yo, OB, what up, Tiger? Corey Buzzy. Yeah, I helped him gain his freedom. Google him, y'all know who he is. LB fam. We made history. And I could never in my life do anything without saying R.I.P. the Terminator, the big homie, E, my comrade that fell to a tragic event in Auburn in '95. He was murdered in the penitentiary. That's who my video is dedicated to, my big homie, the ex-bodyguard for Big Daddy Kane, Eric Stevens. You're a real G, my B. You're a real G, R.I.P. Love and loyalty, all the time. You're gonna shine, baby. So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, because I really appreciate it, showing the love. I'd like to give a shout out to the Conrad KC, Young Gun, Sumner Young Gun, you know, Sam, Fauci, Daquan, shout it out, R.I.P. Scratch, a real one. Oh yeah, can't forget the Cody, Sam co-defendant, E Moneybags, the real G. Back from Sparford days, we go way back like 8 tracks. Y'all niggas better remember that. Oh yeah, I'm Rudy Low, the creator of the logo, Mr. Foreign, never barring. Facebook, Rudy Low. Instagram, Rudy Lowlife, RUDYLOLIFE, the letter 1. YouTube, Rudy Low Chronicles. Sometimes you might see me appear on the Session TV because it's politics as usual. Podcast, Rudy Low Chronicles. Street Media. Shout out J-Lo. Shout out the Haitian Polo documentary. Shout out Rack. Universal Low Lives. Low Fox. You're working hard, baby. I see you. Oh yeah, one last thing. I humbly beg all participants, all low heads, all low lives, universal low lives, please, let's show unity as entrepreneurs. Let's show unity as a unit. Let's show unity as a culture. And let's get over this hump, get over this obstacle, and let's eat.
And I want to give a big Northside shout out to the bro, man, the comrade, KC, Big Los, for connecting the dots and making this episode happen, man. You understand what I'm saying? You already know what it is, man. Love is always love, you heard?